Hello and welcome to creatingforgrace.com. Today we're actually going to make this Happy Stamper Birthday Girl card, and to make the card we're using the Custom T stamp set as well as the T-shirt builder framelits. So I've pre-done some of the things that we need. And one of the things that's cool about this card is it's actually a tent fold card. So it stands up like this, and just put up something popped up there to hold that frame up. We start with an 8" by 4" piece of cardstock. In this case I used Early Espresso. You can use chocolate chip as well, or any other color you want. I scored it at 2 inches and at 4 inches. It lays flat, just like that, and then when it opens, it's going to stand up just like that. So for the bottom part, I pre-cut a piece of very vanilla paper at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. We're going to add some adhesive just around the outside. And keep the edges even all the way around. For this portion, you can see that the ribbon wraps around the outside pink layer, so we can go ahead and attach that very vanilla layer straight to the pink layer. But before we do that, I've created a background, and we'll stamp that up real fast. And the two colors that I used are Melon Mambo and the Blushing Bride. And I have the foam pad. Anytime you use photopolymer stamps, there is no foam backing on them like there are on the red rubber stamps. That gives has a little give, a cushion to it. So this will help you get a better stamped image. So I'm going to do the tiny trio of flowers here in the Blushing Bride. And basically just going to ink that up and sprinkle it all around. And you're just creating a background, so it's not going to really matter where you place these. Here's the bigger flower that we used, and that one we're actually going to use the Melon Mambo ink. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just kind of sprinkle that around. So I've done the die cutting, like I said, with the framelits, and the things that I've die cut are the Lady Style t-shirt. I inked in the chocolate chip ink and then die cut my picture. I also stamped the Birthday Girl sentiment and did the outline in Melon Mambo and used the framelit to cut that out as well. I've done a collar for the shirt in Melon Mambo, and there's a framelit for that also. And then I also did an extra flower, and this is the one that we're going to use to make our card stand up. So this is going to be the portion on the inside, and that is also stamped in Melon Mambo. But the part we haven't done yet is the stamping that's on the t-shirt itself. And I have one that says Happy Stamper, and that actually comes from this same one. It's the Custom T. And there's a little sentiment right there that says Happy Stamper. So really good for anybody that is a fellow stamper. And I'm going to do that one in chocolate chip. One of the things with the foam pads, they need to be re-inked more often, but they really do stay inked very well. It doesn't take a lot of pressure, and you don't really want to wiggle your stamp around. So that's really important. So there we have the Happy Stamper. And then also we're going to put the flower in the bottom corner of the t-shirt using the Melon Mambo. jumbo here. There we go. So before I put this away, I always tell people make sure you make your envelopes pretty. So since we have the inks out for this, I'm going to go ahead and just show you what I did on the envelope. Super easy. I actually had the outline of the t-shirt that we have done, and basically just recreating what we've got on the inside of the card. So there is the t-shirt, and again I'm going to use the Happy Stamper. I have the Melon Mambo still out. This is the collar that goes with the t-shirt, and because they're photopolymer, they are see-through, and so you can really line those up fairly well and get that cute image there. We'll do a little flower in the bottom corner. And then we have that trio of the pale flowers in the Blushing Bride. And I'm going to grab some scratch paper because I usually like to go off the edge a little bit, and it saves my foam mat, although they clean up really, really well. So I'm just going to add a few of those here, just like that. So our envelope is pretty. I'm going to set the card aside, and now we're just going to assemble. So we had our background done. We're going to add the background to the layer of pink. And just careful to keep a fairly even border around your outside. And one of the things you want to remember with a tent fold card, because this isn't laying just totally flat on there where you open it up, you want this part to stand up. So you want to be careful to only put adhesive on the bottom half of this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our adhesive first, and then I'm going to add the ribbon around the outside. So I'm actually going to add adhesive to this layer right here. And I'm going to add some adhesive to the two ends of my ribbon as well. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to kind of eyeball where we want that ribbon to be approximately. And we know we want it to be covered by the back. So if we're about there, and we know that if we place it about here, it's going to be covered up. So we're going to do that right about there. We have adhesive on the two back sides. And then we've already placed adhesive on this bottom portion here. And what we want to do again is to have those four sides even. And when you pop it up, it's going to stand up just like that. So I have some dimensionals, and I've actually cut a strip of them in half because we have some small parts like the flower here. So I'm going to put the dimensional on that. I'm going to take that off. Then you decide where you want this to stand up, and probably about right there. And that's going to hold that. I have some of the Blushing Bride ribbon here, and I'm going to take approximately 4 inches. It's just enough to make a really pretty knot over on the side. I'm going to flatten this out. And knots are pretty easy, bows are pretty easy. It really comes down to a matter of playing with angles and just kind of straightening out exactly where you want them to lay. We're going to cut off the extra. Anytime that I have a sentiment on like something like this, I like to put some dimension underneath it. And then often I will flag the ends up a little bit. And so we can add just a tiny bit of adhesive on each end. And take that off. And we're going to have that set just about there. Then we have our bone folder just to get underneath so that it can look like it has some motion to it. And that's enough for that. We're going to add the collar onto the shirt. I think I'm actually going to add the shirt on first because that also uses dimensionals, and I'm going to do something a little different with the collar. So we're going to decide exactly where we want this to set. It's going to be somewhere just about there. And then I'm going to take our fine tip glue pen, which is amazing stuff. And I'm just going to add a small layer right around the edge there for the collar. And we're going to add the collar of the shirt right there. And so we've got super, super cute our envelope and our birthday girl. This is a tent fold card, so it's going to stand just like this. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial today. All the dimensions, colors, and supplies used will be on my blog. It's creatingforgrace.com. Thanks so much and have an amazing day.